So I finally decided to do this project, which is the You Can Do This project. Against all better judgment, I've decided to do it. I'm Elisa. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was 5 years old, and I'm 25 now, so I've had diabetes for 20 years. I gotta say, the most grueling part about diabetes is not the actual having to take shots and stuff like that, not at first anyways, or even now, but the mental process of it is just, it's unbearable, and back then I didn't take care of myself, so at least 18 of the 20 years I was living with diabetes, but I was living as if I didn't have diabetes, and I ate anything I wanted, I did what I want. I only took 2 shots a day. I didn't care what anyone told me. I would take a shot at night and a shot in the morning, and that was it, and I would eat anything I wanted. So my sugars, I have to say, were probably always in the 500s, but I never checked. I was never to be bothered with it. I didn't care. And the turning point in my life came when, I was just so tired of feeling like crap every day, and I didn't even associate it with diabetes. But diabetes came into play when I was just like, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'd rather have a transplant. I worked in a law firm who happened to have nurses who would review the documents for them, so I asked them for advice on who I could see regarding a transplant. So I decided to go, and I had spoken to the surgeon. The surgeon told me that at the time I was 23, for someone that was 23 and had diabetes for so long and no serious complications, and the fact that I didn't take care of myself, he was astonished, basically. He couldn't believe that, but he said, listen, go on the pump for 6 months. If you feel that after 6 months you still feel the same way, you still want a transplant, come back, we'll discuss it, and we'll look into it. I said, that's fair enough, because there's obvious risks, and what can I say? At the time, I felt the risks were worth it, even if that meant that I ended up getting cancer. That's how clouded my judgment was to that point. So I decided to meet with the endocrinologist at Winthrop University. I went through a whole big thing, but I'm not going to get into that because this video is just going to run too long. But I found really good endos and diabetes educators, nurse practitioners who are beyond amazing. I can't even describe how much they've helped me. But I went on the Novolog pen for a few months, and then 3 weeks ago I finally got on the pump. It was official. And I feel so much better, but the thing is, as soon as I went on the pen, I could tell the difference in sugar control, because I didn't know that high sugars would depress you. And I was depressed to the point where I, sad to say, but I did think about suicide every day for years. It's something I dealt with internally. I saw doctors for it, but I'd never talk about it, It's just, it gets to the point where you're depressed, but you don't even know why. So it's like you're talking to a psychologist and they say, okay, what's bugging you? Besides the obvious, what's bugging you, but when there's no real source, when you say, I don't know why I'm depressed, I honestly don't know. Like, that's brutal because you don't know how to fix it. So we got to the point where I hit rock bottom mentally. So once I was on the pen and I saw the difference in my blood sugars and how I felt, I literally felt at peace, as if someone was sitting on me the whole time and they just got up and I could breathe. And it's such an amazing feeling, and it's sad because I didn't know about the DOC up until recently, maybe a year ago, I would say, or so, maybe a little bit less, but there's just so much support, and people are thinking the same thing you think, but no one talks about it. The people I'm saying that hold it in, they don't talk about it because we don't want to portray ourselves as victims, because we're not trying to get pity. When we talk about it, we're not trying to make people feel bad for us. That's not what it is. But it's like, who do you talk to? Because you could talk to your parents, you could talk to anyone, but if they don't have it, it's almost impossible for them to understand because they can't feel what you feel. But when you talk to people online, you feel so much closer to them than you feel to the people you have in your life. And I wish someone had told me about the DOC when I was in high school. When I was in high school, because, better yet, middle school, because I wouldn't have had, the type of mental, I didn't have mental problems, but I did have depression, and I was always happy. I'm very easily amused. So at the time, I'm just in this hole, and I don't know why. But if there's anything I want to give in this video is awareness that you're not alone. You can do this, and just ask for help. Just ask, or even talk to someone. Message me. Talk to anyone. Just talk to someone, because what you're thinking, someone else is thinking, but they're too afraid to say it. And that's just how it is. And if anything I've learned also from the DOC is I've met parents on the by the way, the DOC is the Diabetes Online Community. For those who are watching this video that really don't know much about it, but the parents, I never really looked at it on their end, but they go through so much that it's beyond amazing. Because especially the parents that have really small children or even babies diagnosed with diabetes, the child can't tell them when they feel low. So they're going through this daily grind that has just put so much onto them that we don't comprehend. So I want to just thank those parents who are constantly on top of their kids and making sure they're okay, because I have parents like that. But when I was able to take care of my diabetes myself, and since I could take my shots, that's when it all went downhill. But they were burnt out beyond belief. But so I want to just thank those people. And if you get anything from this video, like I said before, just ask for help. People are here to listen. We're not here, I know I talk a lot on Twitter about diabetes. My followers who follow me, my YouTube people, I know you guys follow me because I put out videos from Rock Band, gaming, all sorts of kind of stuff. And I'm sure you feel bombarded at this point with all the diabetes tweets, but it's something that, if you have a problem, and it doesn't have to be diabetes related, I'm willing to help out, because if there's anything I've learned is that you're not alone in anything. If you choose not to speak about it, that's different. If because I'm the type of person that keeps everything inside, that's just how I am. But for this is one part of my life that I do feel I need to share at this point, because I don't want to dig another hole. I buried my past at this point. I'm looking forward. I just want to thank everyone at the DOC. You guys have been more than supportive, and I really don't know how to thank you, but seek help. You're not alone. The depression, it could get to the point where you just can't, and you really should find someone you confide in. Even if you're just talking to people online. It doesn't have to be anyone, in person. But we're here to help you, and I hope you guys seek out. And remember, you can do this. I'm doing it now, and I was told I wouldn't make it past 25. My dad actually said that to me when I was younger. He's like, the way you're going, you're not going to make it to 25. Harsh words, but I had to hear them. But even then, I just didn't care. But I am one of the lucky ones that has had diabetes for so long with no complications, and for someone that's probably, my A1C was never below a 10, ever in the past. The highest I ever got was a 13. So, trust me, you can get there with help and just seek out. You could do it. You can do this.